Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Montana 2 Center, the home of your last math class. My name is Thomas Hinds. I'll be your math teacher this last time. In life, there's a little bit of magic, and for you today, the little bit of magic is found in this coin here. The trick I will share with you is called coin into my elbow. Coin into my elbow. That's why I take this coin. I jam it right here into my elbow for the very last time. It's a very simple trick. I wish I had a bigger coin. I tap once there for the camera. I tap twice there for maybe the camera's getting started. You may have to stand up. You may have to stand up. It's okay to stand up back row. There are only 2 rows. I show it to the front row here. I would show it to the back row, but they got the cheap seat, so they don't even deserve to see it. In any case, from there, I grab that coin and I begin rubbing here once. I rub here twice. The third time's when the magic happens, so please don't blink. Just take some time.
I'm blind.
Here it comes. Oh, that thing stings when it tears the skin and the blood. Okay, let me do that one more time. Alright, here we go. Alright, been using that line for 10 years, it still works. Here it comes. I reveal. Slowly, because in magic, you always go slow. And that trick is known as coin into my elbow. I bring it back because we have just a few more minutes. Everyone knows money is in the air. There's a hole right there with all the money in. I reach in slowly. I got it. That's suspense. Right there. How can you do that? I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Toss it in the air. We're all amazed together. Here we go. 1, 2. We're looking up. It's just magic. Acting, nothing is up there. And I'm like, what looks like the way you keep looking at it? Alright, and 3. Faked on them. Alright, unless you weren't in the class. We're like, ooh, do you see it? I don't see it. It's up there, it's up there. Alright, here we go. Let's bring that thing back. The trick was very simple. This is magic for nothing in my hands. Here we go. Very simple trick. We rubbed here once. We rubbed here twice. We rubbed here 3 times. Here we didn't rub as much. But the good news is, if I go slow, cameras, zoom in on that. Slow cameras. Camera 2. Camera 2.
Got it. I got it.
Slowly, the coin reappears.
Whoa.
And that, my friends, is coin to my elbow. Yes, you can give a big hand for that. Because that's the only trick I'll try to do this year, since you guys know all my other tricks. Unless you missed the first day. I may maybe the last that you asked for that, and we'll do that. Alright, let's see what we got here. That's coin to my elbow. I always say a little something about myself as a teacher. Hey, this is year number 23 teaching. I started in 1994 when I graduated from college. Boom! Just got started right away. And so here we are today. That's one thing I want to say. What's the other thing I'd like to say? Estoy de Honduras. Mi nombre es Tomás. Ven aquí at age 6 and forgot Spanish after that. In other words, I was born in Honduras. Lived there until I was 6 years old. Came to America like at age 19. I became a citizen and whatever. But that's something that you probably wouldn't know about me if I didn't tell you. The last thing you need to know as we move along, because our time is going so fast, at least the first half just walking around, is it is true. I am a storyteller outside of school. I got a poster. My name is Mr. Hinds, but you can call me Uncle Minnie. That's my stage name. Usually my stories begin like this. They're for 3 to 8-year-olds, so it's not quite a few.
What?
And now, our story. Long ago. Far away. Before there was trade, and even before there was a Lion King, there was a man. And his name was and then the stories go on from there. Like, tell us some more. All right, so the stories go on from there. Those are 3 things you should know about me. Right now, no, just the beginning. Right now, full stories that have been recorded at different live occasions, some just directly onto the computer, are now being played on weekends from 4 at 4 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays on brightradio.org. Brightradio.org. It should make me famous, but clearly I'm not, because I'm in a box right now. Teaching in the box. All right. Oh shoot! I'm recording this whole thing. That's right. They should. No. They should have to hear it all. All the people that missed. I'm like, well, I missed it. I can't get the papers. Can you write it down? No, you can't. You can sit and listen to this for an hour. All right. So let's see. Is there anything else we need from there? That's a little something about me. The reason I had you write on those papers. Sometimes I get to you. Sometimes I don't. It's so I can know something about you other than you just being a face in the room. Last semester, I did not get a chance to read as much as I would have wanted to, but hopefully this semester I will get to. So with that, step one, the phone sheets and the other sheets should be done. You can send those to the middle aisle while I pass out your very own buckets. Grab a highlighter really fast. As a math teacher, I recognize I can't change math. Math is going to be what it is. What I can do, though, is be a non-boring student. The small ones and the big ones. If you're working on the big ones, you can keep the big ones. So if you're still occasionally working on the big ones, you keep the big ones. Separate the small and the big, and send it all right here to Vivian. Vivian, grab my desk, a paperclip with that. Let me pass out the bucket sheet. Grab a highlighter with the bucket sheet. You all in high school, you all are trying to fill your buckets. Your bucket could be a math class. Your bucket could be a whole entire high school. Your bucket could be your English class. Put your name, class, color on here. Your ORG for orange. To complete your buckets, it is, if you look up on the board, I want you to highlight the different possibilities under each of the buckets. That's why you grab the highlighters.
Are you getting this folder?
Hopefully you will get a folder, yes. It's just the order in which we're sending things out.
Can you be orange?
Nah, I wasn't that lucky.
Thank God.
Alright, so if you look up here, the master bucket, first, the thing I want to say to you, and I wish you could write this if it's not on there somewhere, you could put my bucket, but the idea is I want you to know this is your bucket to fill. In other words, in a math class, trying to get all 5 units, it's your job to get your 5 units. Now, you may need some help with that, but it's your bucket to fill. Now, me as a teacher, I want to help you fill that bucket. So that's why I'm going to try and present whatever lessons, look at the test ahead of time and see what it looks like, and try and get your bucket full. But if I don't teach something right, or something is missing, or you saw it that day, don't forget, I'm not the only access you have to math. You can Google it, you can YouTube it, there's the people around you, there's the tutor. So in the end, just know that, yes, there are 2 of us here, the main ones. You, it's your bucket to fill, or to fill rather. I want to help you fill it. That's why I'm going to come say my thing. But don't forget, there's tutors around, there are friends around, family in the case of some of you, parents in the case of some of you. So just be aware that the leak in your bucket is when, of course, you're not paying attention or your mind just somewhere else. And again, with your highlighter, go ahead and highlight the fact that while class is kind of the main thing we're thinking of when we're talking about your bucket, the same thing is true at graduation altogether. You can still think of it as getting your bucket filled, but you have your AR teacher, you have, again, friends, family, you got different people around who can help you get that done. I guess going from one grade to the next is probably what I meant with grade. And then ultimately, in life, we're filling a bucket now, whether it's my wife who helps me, my brothers and sisters who help me, even my mom who helps me. The idea is you're not alone. And if you think of it that way, then I think it can be kind of helpful. In the way of filling buckets, 3x5 cards. We're going to do 3x5s. Because the person at your table or somewhere around you could help you fill that bucket, if you don't even know their name, that could create a challenge. So let's do this with 3x5 cards. Each person gets one. You get the name of the people at your table first. Some people have more people at the table, which allows them more people to help them fill their buckets. Okay. They can be where you want to change more, that's okay too. I know it's close to. I'm going to pause it right now.
Yeah, the bonus.
Get the names of the people at your table. If you happen to be a student who's not good at math, you've had a hard time with math all the way through, you missed something along the way that then they went to the next thing and you never quite caught up to it, what I want to offer you is this.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get you to pass the test and move forward. But what I want you to feel is this. Math is about the words that they use. Please solve the equation. please find the circumference of the circle. How many radians are in this circle? All about words. So what I want to offer you a little bit is, let's say if you had trouble in math and it may not fix this semester. Those who are good in math, this may not quite apply to you, but for those who've had trouble in math and it doesn't fix this semester, I do want you to know it is about the words. And so part of what we're going to do today will be trying to help you feel like whenever you hear the word radian, something pops up in your mind. Like when we did the vocabulary last time, I mean, try and do the vocabulary again. I just want something to pop into your head. I don't know how to find it. I don't know how to divide it or whatever. I just know when I hear radians, something pops into my head. Or when I hear the word pi, something pops into my head. I kind of know what you're talking about. I don't know what to do with it, but at least I know what it is. Because those who don't do well in math, just keep saying words, and students are like, look, I don't know what a polynomial is. And even if I did, I don't know how to factor it. And once I factor it, I don't know what the function is, and I don't know how to graph it and find the domain and the range. I don't know any of that stuff. But really all you're saying is, I don't know what those words mean. Because if I knew that the domain was from left to right, I would look for stuff from left to right. If I knew the range was from bottom to top, I'd look from bottom to top. And if I knew that a radian was just the outside part of a circle, like when you look at the clock, the frame of it, you're looking at a radian. You've been looking at a radian your whole life. You just never had to call it that. Then today, as we start messing around with some of that stuff, I want it to be easy for you like that. So that's my goal in terms of filling your bucket. Whenever I'm saying this stuff, even though I know I can't change math, it's going to be whatever it's been to you. I'm going to just try and make it as clear as I can. With that said, let's talk about this amygdala stuff, because that's what's going to happen there. One last time. My amygdala was going crazy yesterday, even before, because I was imagining day one. What was day one going to be like? Step one, I was supposed to have 22 students. So how am I going to fit 22 students in here? Okay, turns out I was nervous about nothing. They're fitting just fine. Second, my amygdala, my next class after, next class is supposed to have 27 students. Now the question, do I want some students not to be here, not to learn, so that it'll fit just right? Well, you can't hope that students get sick or that they don't go to school. You want them all here, but where am I going to put 27 students? So my amygdala is going, after this is done, shoot, okay, I made it through this first one. These students are really mature. One, hope for other mature students in the next class, just in case stuff doesn't go right, they're not going crazy. But once they get here, what's going to happen? So here's what I want to leave with you, just this idea. Information gets into your brain in three different ways. The V, visual, the A, and the K. You're going to write this down one last time about your brain, and this will help you later on, and it'll help you, I guess, some of you in life now. Because you'll understand that when your amygdala is working, your thinking brain isn't. And so taking 10 breaths, just noticing your breathing, just for 10 ins and out. Or is it 10 in and out? No, it's only 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If ever you feel your amygdala acting up, and I'm going to tell you how you know it's going, you do 5 of those guys, and usually that'll be enough for you to pause for a moment for whatever it is that you're imagining. So here we go. Let's get this thing in for you. Visual, that's how stuff gets into your brain. Audio, that's for your ears. So let's see. Can I draw a picture? Visual, audio. That's almost like an ear. Maybe I should just do it like this.
Why don't you just make like a speaker? Like when you mute it, you know how you have a mute thing on your computer? Yeah, I know.
I know. Kinesthetic. Kinesthetic.
It's with an I. Kinesthetics.
Can with an I?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can?
Did you have an I?
The I and the E should switch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what just happened there, people? Somebody help me fill.
It was tight.
Help me fill my bucket.
I got it. Fact check.
Fact check it.
It's gonna take like 30 seconds to do it.
I'll put it in close just in case it's wrong. I get to keep it. Hey, the way things get into your brain are in 3 ways. This is a
Kinestheht.
that's a leg kicking. Kine.
Yeah, Kine.
You know how to spell.
Know how you spell.
Well,
Anesthetic.
T-H-E.
Guys, we got
T-H as like and then in British English.
Alright, I'll take it.
K.
Alright, there we go. Thank you, Jose. You're on record for having helped me fill my bucket.
Do any of you guys have a phone?
Right now, go ahead and mark down thalamus. The thalamus isn't one that you need that much. That's the way I'm going to turn on the air. Thalamus you don't need that much, other than to say when information gets to your brain, it's your thalamus that sends it either up or down. You want it to go up to the hippocampus. That's where the thinking happens. My main goal is all about the hippocampus. Right now, your hippocampus works because you're not stressed. There's no test you're taking right now. You're just cool out, whatever, I'm listening to information. I can think about this. Your amygdala, or Amy G. Dalla, if you need to think of a girl. The amygdala is the part that I want you to know, remind you of one last time. Amy G. Dalla, if you need to know how to spell it. The information goes out to your amygdala fast. In other words, to get it down there other than the song, if you are like I was last night and a couple of nights before, fearful, if you feel fear,
Every day of my life.
boom, your amygdala is working. The amygdala is the thing that saves you. It's fight or flight. Once a dog is coming at you or me, and I need to decide what I'm going to do. Am I going to fight the dog or run from the dog? There's no time for thinking like, brown eyes, and one is blue. That's odd. No, you die. So the amygdala says, hey, if there's fear, just go. It used to be, it got cut off. Fight or flight. Hey, how's another way you know that your amygdala, the part of you that doesn't think, it just reacts, is working? Anxiety. I think that's what I felt too, anxiety. When you're anxious, you're fearful. They almost are exactly the same thing, anxiety.
I'm never thinking more uncomfortable.
You know your amygdala is doing the deal. Stress, oh man. You know stress will do it. And then the last one, and this is the one that messes me up in class as a teacher. The last one that has my amygdala going is called threat. Why does this one mess me up in class?
Because we're all delinquents.
Because I deserve an A, not a B.
Very nice, those are some possibilities.
You know it.
But the challenge is, let's say students are talking in class and I'm trying to get them quiet. Well, I gotta call somebody. I'll take it quiet down right now. I don't want to have to set up a meeting. I don't want to call home. I don't want to have to have a conference. I don't want to have all those things. For me, I do not like. It is a threat to me. I feel like if I put it out there, boom, it's going to come back. But for the first 2 months of this new school year, I'm going to try it. Sometimes say, hey, could you please quiet down? Could you be more respectful? Could we talk after class? Whatever. It's my plan to do it, even though each time I'm going to do it. My amygdala's going to be like, oh, shoot, this is not end well. Don't do it. Don't even try it. But I am. I'm going to fight through it. Same thing like today. Amygdala thought today was going to be overcrowded. Who knows what's going to happen in the afternoon? But right now, look at that. The seats are fine. The students are way mature. Amygdala had it wrong. For your life, even though it has nothing to do with math completely, just know, whenever you're feeling fear, anxiety, stress, or threat, your brain is not thinking. It's not doing its best job. You can count 5 counts of breathing in and out to help you get back to the place where your brain goes like, okay, things are probably going to be cool, and even if they're not, if I'm thinking, I can kind of work through it. The last thing you want to say here is, this is also the thing, if ever you blanked out on a test, you're about to take a test, boom, they put it there, and you're like, oh, shh, I don't remember any of this. I knew this. That's your amygdala, because either you're feeling something in that testing environment. So what do you do when you're going to take a test? You pause for a moment, do the 5 count, see what happens. If you didn't study, yeah, nothing might pop up. But at least it's not because you feel one of those things. All right, we did the who I am, so if you weren't here, you need to get one of those sheets and do that. All right, this is going to help me with my amygdala. Some rules. Rules of what helps the teacher. So let's see if we can follow.
Oh, it's the Facebook mom thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I still have other jobs.
All right, very quickly, here comes. Obviously, to pass the class, you got to attend, and complete classwork and so on. So that part isn't the main three pieces, because that doesn't affect my amygdala. I want you to pass. I'll help you pass, but that doesn't affect my amygdala. The classroom expectations is the part that affects my amygdala. And the main one there is be respectful. That's the one with the no talking class. And even if you are the way you interact with the teacher, be respectful. So highlight that one. I put a check mark on that one. Another way it's been expanded, I'm going to show you, is this guy over here. Let's see if I can get it from this guy over here. Some of the steps that technically I'm going to use to try and help me in this one. That's so weird. I feel like I keep turning on the air and then.
I think they keep putting on the heater over there because I keep seeing them by the AC thingy. Those two ladies.
Somebody just walked out of it.
Yeah, they kept doing it. It's giving me a
Those
sec.
two ladies.
Yeah, no, but-
I'm gonna go try it one more time. I'm gonna see if I can pause the little. I mean, okay, so I won't turn on to. I turn on to the cool, so I'll. Hey, something's not right. Here, where's my thing? Oh, there it goes. Record. Will it let me write? Let me see.
This is my favorite part.
Will you let me write? It won't let me write over here. Alright, so here it comes. This is the expanded version that they're having us kind of share a little bit more. Even though, don't speak while teacher is speaking, but listen carefully. Of course, it goes without saying. I know students will do it. So part of me is like, if you are a super whisperer, I can probably live with that. My amygdala is probably okay with that. If you're a loud talker, then yeah, don't talk while I'm talking. There's the rules for here. Of course, if you play any game where people switch up the rules, or they never told you the rules, that way you do something like, oh, sorry, you can't do it. What? You didn't tell me that? Next one. Treat the classroom like your home. And remember, trash goes in the trash can. I haven't really seen that as a problem, but on this expanded version, why not mention it? I wish I could mark on here, but it won't let me mark when that guy's in charge. The next one, acknowledge everyone's individuality. We're all different, and that's awesome. I don't usually use the word awesome, and that's awesome. All right, whatever. But
Is he in his class?
No, he's not. He's an Andre's class.
his name isn't on that list, right?
No.
Shay Shay?
He's an Andre's. No, he's not.
He's
not
supposed to be an Andre's class right now.
Oh, okay, that sounds fine. For a second, like, in any case,
He's trying to take off running.
look at all. If you look around the room, we're all different, and that's a good thing, especially for me as a teacher. I always think of one of the best parts of being a teacher is I get to know whoever you're going to wind up being. Obviously, you are who you are now. You're high school students, and that's cool, but you may move on to do some super duper thing, and I get to know you. I know, I saw him for the first time. All right, what's this next one? Here it comes. Be respectful, and I never thought about it this way until I read this. Shh. I always think of the talking thing connected to me and the whole disrespectful thing. I did actually have a student. I've had more than one, but this one I'm thinking in particular, who was saying he was trying to learn something, and there was talking around, and then at the end of the class he said to me, I was trying to follow what you were saying, but I really couldn't because of the talking around me. No, it's different person I'm thinking of. And so in the end, so in the end I realized, oh shoot, me trying to have other students stop talking isn't just about me. There are some other people in the room, not everybody, who, if they were really trying to figure out the thing, the extra talking messes with them. And so when I try and get you to stop talking, if that happens to be you, just know I'm looking out for the people around you who are trying to get their buckets filled, just like you're trying to get yours. And then eventually, we just here. Remember, you are responsible for how you act, no matter how you feel. I like that one. That goes back to the amygdala. Some days you can feel just off, and so boom, you're lashing out at people. But you're still responsible for how you act. And then, of course, always treat people the way you like to be treated. That standard. Well, this one, let me go down to the other thing. It won't. That means treat me with respect. I treat you with respect. Again, that's how I want to be treated. And I recognize as a teacher, if I don't treat you respectfully now, let's say you become that person. Will I be able to call you up and get something done for my sons because you're that important person? No, you're probably like, I remember you, and I didn't like you. Now, if you don't like me without me being disrespectful, well, we get that. We're not going to like everybody. But you don't want someone to dislike you because you're disrespectful. The last guy here, I'm going to fight with this one. Again, my amygdala always goes up when I put the phones in my drawer. I've done it before, and the times I thought people go crazy. No, come on. Then eventually we put it in the drawer. At the end of the class, they get their phone and go on with their lives. So what's true is this. Now, obviously, we want you to turn your, this is the expanded version. Turn off your cell phones and put them away where you cannot see them.
I can't see it.
In the end, the main idea is, of course, you're not using it, and we definitely want you to put it away. If you are using it, early on, I'm going to remind me, like, all right, just do it. Just ask them to put it in the drawer. Remind them they're getting it after class. No one's taking it away from them forever. And most students will be like, sorry. And of course, put away any other electronics, including headphones. I didn't mess around as much with the headphones, but I am. When they're in, clearly they're in for a reason. So I actually just pull them out. Usually just do a little something like that, and no big deal. Again, rules are not for the many. Most of us are like, whatever, I know. The rules are for the few who want to do this, that, or the other. So that will help me with my amygdala when I have to do that. When you sign that sheet, you're saying, it's cool, Thomas, for 2 hours out of my day, I'm going to follow these things. For the other 22 hours, I will listen to whatever, I will do whatever, but it doesn't affect you. Okay? So when you sign that, I appreciate you making that commitment. Let me see the other things that are on there. I know there's the language thing that's on the sheet, but I haven't found that to be an issue. So let's see if we can move you up. All right, so we did the cell phone. Go ahead and just highlight really quickly, no cell phones. And again, you're saying, this is me telling you now, if it's out during class, it'll turn in to the end of class, circle that part. That's the part you're committing to. Like, yeah, if you ask me for my phone, I'll put it in my desk till the end. So really, I'd want you to put it away if you can. Don't have it out. Because it'll make it trigger for me. I'm watching you, trying to see, and so on. Language, of course, just highlight inappropriate language. So we don't want you to use that. We don't want you to use that. Say it again. And then just know they may be expanding the policy. They're really trying to get students not to come in super duper late. So just know that kind of how you can be marked. You can be marked absent if you're more than 15 minutes late. So if your teacher ever says to you, hey, you were absent to class and you came like maybe 15, 20, or you came in 20, 30 minutes late, that's what they might mean. Usually we try to put an L there so we know that L means you came like at least after the 15-minute mark, maybe 30 minutes. But just know you can be marked absent. Absences are supposed to be made up. I try to do these little video things so that you make it up. Come sit in on Friday. The bad part is you win. Class is 2 hours. You come and listen for what is usually 30 minutes today. Is going to be extra long for them. But in the end, yeah, and they're going to be tough this time too, at least in the month of January, because Monday, Wednesday classes, if you're in one, for the whole month of January, you'll meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's to make up for the lost days that the Monday, Wednesday people will feel. So there are at least 2 holidays in January, 2 holidays in February. And so they're just making them all up in January. Instead of only doing it when the holidays come, they're just going to do it all in January, and that way, in February when the holidays come, you just come to class 1 day in that week. But again, your Monday, Wednesday people, teachers, should be reminding you that if you have a class tomorrow, that class will meet again this Friday, and then the same thing the following week. Truancies, I didn't do it as much, but what's supposed to be true is you can receive truancies. There's 2 absences. 2 absences in a 4-week period. In other words, technically you only meet 8 times in a school month. You miss 2 of those, it's down to 75. We haven't done as much as some people make it up and so on, but just know that it's out there in case you ever get one for absence. I have had some students who missed a lot. Whoa, and we just didn't follow up on that. These are the instructions for the folders that were just passed out. Your name, class color, and your graduation date. When you started 9th grade, now they weren't wrong. What year we're supposed to graduate. So some of you might be on track, some of you might be behind, some of you might be ahead. My year when I started ninth grade was supposed to be 1989. That's when I was supposed to graduate from high school. So that's the year that I put. I did graduate from high school in '89. So I was working hard on that one. There's pi.
I thought it was grandpa for a second.
Good website for the thing.
Hi, welcome to Mathematics. We've learned a lot about geometry so far, but there's one really important geometric shape that we still need to cover, and that shape is a circle. Since the invention of the wheel, circles have been extremely important to all humanity. Grog made wheel.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Grog. In fact, you probably see circles almost everywhere you turn. But mathematically, what is a circle? Well, in geometry, a circle is defined as the set of all points that are equidistant, or the same distance, from another single point. And the best way to understand what that means is to see it in action. So, here's a single point to start with. Now, let's start drawing points that are equidistant from it. This point is a foot away to the right. Now let's make another point a foot away, but in another direction. Let's say up here. Now let's make another one, also a foot away, but in another direction, right here. Now let's make another, here, and another. Phew, I'm getting tired. Do you see what's happening? The more equidistant points we add, the more the pattern looks like a circle. And that's why a circle is defined as the set of points that are equidistant from a center point. But of course, we usually don't see it as a set of points because there's infinitely many of them, so they form a continuous circle. Okay, now let's learn about the parts that make up a circle. First of all, we have the original point that we started with. That's called the center, or the origin of the circle. Next, we have the distance that we use to draw all of the equidistant points that form a circle. That distance is called the radius. The radius is important because it's the distance from the center of a circle to any other point on the perimeter of that circle. And even though a circle only has one radius dimension, you can draw as many radius lines as you want to. Usually you'll only see one radius line drawn, since it's the same length no matter where you draw it. Another important circle dimension is called the diameter. The diameter is the distance across a circle. If you start at one point on the circle and then draw a line straight through the center to the other side, that distance is the diameter. As you can see, the diameter is really just the same as two radius lines drawn in exactly opposite directions. So for any circle, the diameter is always exactly twice as long as the radius. All of the equidistant points we drew combine to form the perimeter of the circle. Remember that perimeter is just the distance all the way around a shape. But because a circle is a special shape, the perimeter of a circle gets a special name. It's called the circumference. The circumference is the distance all the way around a circle. We're going to learn how to calculate the circumference of any circle in the next video. We'll also learn how to calculate the area of any circle. But before we can learn those things, we first need to learn about pi. Grog made pi. Sorry, not that kind. In math, the word pi, which is spelled P-I, refers to a very special number. In fact, it's so special that it gets its own symbol. This Greek letter here is the symbol for the number pi. But if pi is just a number, why don't we write it like that? Why do we need to use a special symbol for it? It's a good question, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But first, let's learn what pi really is by seeing how it relates to a circle. It turns out that pi is really a ratio. Now, if you're not sure what a ratio is, you can watch our video about it. But basically, a ratio is just a relationship between two numbers that's written like a fraction. Pi is the ratio of two different distances on a circle. It's the ratio of the distance around a circle to the distance across a circle. And what do we call those two distances? Yep, the circumference and the diameter. So pi is the relationship of the circumference to the diameter. And as you'll see in a minute, because pi is a ratio, it's the same number for any circle, no matter how big or small. Okay, but what number is it? What's the value of pi? Well, to figure that out, have a look at these two circles, one big and one small. We're going to imagine that our circle's diameters are flexible like a piece of string, and that we can wrap them around the outside edges, circumferences, of the circles. So for each circle, if we start at the top and wrap the diameter around the circumference, we see that one diameter is not enough to go all the way around. So let's get another diameter and keep going with the first diameter stopped. Two diameters still isn't enough to go all the way around. It looks like we're going to need to get a third diameter and keep going. Oh, so close. 3 diameters is almost enough, but it looks like we're going to need just a little bit more to form a full circumference. That little bit more turns out to be about 0.14 diameters. That means that it takes 3.14 diameters to equal 1 circumference for any circle, big or small. So the value of pi is always 3.14. Well, okay, pi is a little more complicated than that. 3.14 is really just pi rounded off to 2 decimal places. And we actually have to round pi off because it's a type of number that's called irrational. An irrational number has decimal digits that never end and never repeat.
I'm confused.
Yes, irrational numbers are confusing, but seeing some more of pi's decimal digits will help you understand what I mean. To be more precise, pi is 3.141592653589793 and the decimal digits just keep on going forever without repeating. Pretty amazing, huh? But the good news is that saying pi is 3.14 is usually close enough for most math problems, so that's all you really need to memorize. And that's why we use a symbol for pi in equations. We could write pi with just 2 decimal places, or we could write it with 5 decimal places to be more accurate, or we could write it with hundreds of decimal places to be super accurate, or we could just use the symbol to represent the true value, which is infinitely accurate. Okay, so in this video, we learned what a circle is, and we've learned about the important parts of the circle: the center, the radius, the diameter, and the circumference. We've also learned about a very special number called pi. Pi is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, and its value is about 3.14 no matter what size the circle is. In our next video about circles, we're going to learn how we can use the number pi to find the circumference and the area of any circle. And even though there's not much math you can actually practice in this section, don't worry. There'll be lots of practice problems in the next section to make up for it. Thanks for watching Math Antics, and I'll see you next time.
We're all good at math.
Learn more at mathantics.com.
All right. Lights in the back. That's the one closest to the door.
You guys want to subscribe to $2?
Nope.
And
He's
what
the
do I
number
want?
one YouTuber. We're not?
Lights in the back. Use the pizza for next time. And there it is. There it is. Can I turn this guy?
Every minute, every second, Papa.
All right. So here's the deal. They use pi, but pi is really just 3 diameters. 3 diameters that you wrap around a circle. That's why it's always 3 and a little bit more. What I want you to think of kind of from now on, when you hear pi, just think of 3 things. There are pi students at this desk. Pi seems like something else, but I want you to feel, especially if you're not super used to pi, just think pi is 3. Yeah, I know the actual 1.14, but that part messes up when they're decimals. Pi people at this desk, there are more than pi people at this desk. There are less than pi people at that desk. Pi is 3. Today, I want us to make pi radians. How many radians am I recording? Yeah. How many radians is that going to be if we make pi radians? 3. Yeah, don't worry about that 0.4. Just pi radians. Now, here's what's going to happen with your circles. By putting in pi radians, 3 radians, they're going to go on the top half of the circle. Pi radians. How many radians are going to be at the bottom of the circle if we had enough?
3 more.
Yeah, there'd be 3 more. There are 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom. We would say that there are 2 pi That is, there are two sets of three at the top, three at the bottom. What I want you to get used to is when we say there are 2 pi, and you're going to hear 2 pi a lot. That just means there are 6 things going around the circle. It starts at the beginning, and when it makes it to the end, there are 6 of these radians. Well, what is a radian officially? A radian is the length of an arc on your circle that is the same length as the radius. So everybody take out your sheets, get your yarn. I wish I could turn this. I'm not able to, should be able to turn it, like view, rotate it. I want us to get in 3 radians today so that when you hear the word radian, you know that's all the radian is? Yes. We're going to do a little cutting in a second with scissors, but let's see if I can get you to do it. You need sticky stuff. Get the glue sticks, hopefully they have some juice. Let's see if we can squeeze this in and get our 3 radians in. Now, when you start your radians, because we're going to be doing degrees eventually.
You don't have to.
Ours is dried up.
All right, that's what I was checking. There's going to be 1 per table, or
Here, I'll go find liquid.
I got 2. Check see if any of them have juice balls. Yours are dried up.
You just don't have
Good
to.
share. Check and see. Are they all dried up over there, Marcos?
Just one.
Maybe I'll make it.
Do me a favor on your papers. Please put 0 degrees here at 3 o'clock on that circle. Eventually, I'm going to run and see if I can grab another one so there's at least 1 glue stick that works per table. But the person who has glue stick that works, here's what you're going to be doing. You're going to put in your first radian. Again, what is a radian? A radian is the amount, how should I say it? The distance on the perimeter, on the circumference, that is traveled by the length of 1 radius, which is why they call it a radian. To make a radian, step 1, you have to get a radius. Once you get your radius, then what you have to do is you have to stretch it across the arc, and these are some of the words I'm going to be using, across the arc of your circle. Arc just means part of the circumference. If you don't have the whole thing, you just have an arc. I have half of it. Oh, I have half the arc. I have the whole thing. So right now, step 1, and I'll get the glue sticks for everyone. You're going to glue it around the perimeter. This first red thing is a radian. When they say, please go from degrees to radians, what they're going to really be saying is, go from how many degrees are in here, about 60. How many things are meat in the middle of the pizza, to how much crust do you have? So when they talk about a radian, all they're saying is, hey, how much crust is there on your pizza? The amount of crust you get on a pizza will depend on what degree is in the middle. Right now, the degrees aren't that important, other than to say, right on this side, write down 1 radian. It's going to match up with your thing. Now, again, we got to get that to match. I thought about having you glue down the red thing to be part of the radius, but since I only gave you 3 radians, or 3 radius lines, I'm going to have you do 3. Why 3? What's the other word that we're going to be using for 3 instead of the number 3?
Hi.
Pi. You're going to get pi radians. 3 radians.
Wait.
The vocabulary is going to be important. Now, let me erase something so that some people don't try and do it. Let me erase this red guy here. And again, I'm going to go try and see those who have the glue stick. At least glue 1 in and then pass it on. I'm going to go. We created 1 radian. We have that. You'll need a yarn to do this if you're absent today. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to your first class. And again, your maturity level will be a great memory for me today. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Next class, we're going to do the real deal.